Good everyone, on with this video. Today we have a bit of an unusual video because this one's actually going to be done from a replay. I'm doing this part in the hangar first though because I just want to give a bit of context to what occurred. So in this match, I was in the I-16 Type 28. This is a plane that obviously I got in a recent sale. You would have seen a review for this vehicle by now because I just conveniently happened to get footage for the plane several weeks before this happened. It's just I wanted to fly this because if you take a look, my marker distinction is not done. I still need to finish this. And essentially on the Friday that I flew this, obviously it is the Saturday as I'm recording it. It'll be long before you see it anyway. But I'd essentially had a bad day at the office. It was a long day at work, a lot of stress, a lot of really just shit things that happened. Lots of things that were just not my way, and I decided, well, I've had a long day, I've had a stressful day, what can I do to change that? And I settled on flying this thing. I didn't need any footage, so I wasn't recording, that's why this is going to be done from a replay. But oh my god, Joe happened to annoy a Manbaby. Now if you don't know what a Manbaby is, I will briefly summarise. It's essentially a older person who basically acts like a newborn child. And a bit more context, my engine was damaged when this Manbaby had a go at me, and if you know your I-16s, you know they don't take engine damage very well. Now, you will see the rockets under the wings. You won't see the rockets under the wings. I fired them at a BF-110, missed by a country mile, but you will get to see me use the bombs on this plane. And there is actually one guy who was in this match as well, in a B-18B, who questioned why I left him alone. I'll point that out at the end of or towards the end of the video, where we actually had a pretty decent chat. But all I will say is, don't give the guy in the bomber shit. He's a new subscriber. Just don't. It was an honest question, and a lot of people would probably ask that question in that situation. But anyway, let's jump to the replay, shall we? And now you join me in the first few minutes of the match. I've closed off all of the stuff apart from the English, the battle chat that you can see here. I've already fired the rockets at this guy, missed by a country mile, as I've already said in the intro. And, well, it's an I-16 versus a BF-110. It's not exactly hard to distinguish who's going to win that fight. Now, before I continue any further, I would like to point out the enemy team. If I just expand this and point your eyes in this direction, are you noticing a bit of a problem for this old I-16? If you said the two samurais, the two E3, or the one E3 and the E4, as well as several Focke-Wulf 190s, you're correct. This is going to be a rough one. So, let's jump a few minutes ahead to the next part of the dogfight, and I apologise for the noise that the replays now make. This isn't something that I would recommend Gaijin have. And right there is where I take my engine damage. Probably shouldn't have done the head on, to be honest, but still. And as you can tell, we're surrounded. Two E7s, an E3, an E4, and a 190, plus a 110. This is gonna get dicey, to say the least. Remember, Joe is playing this after a long week. Very tired. And yet, I'm still gonna clap a lot of ass. So here's the E3, I should say. He's trying to shake me off, but if there's one thing you're not doing, you're not shaking an I-16, buddy. Here comes the 110. I'm having to cut back the throttle due to the engine temperatures right now. And I'm having to keep an eye out for my situational awareness. Now it's time to jump forward a little bit more. I'm only going to put it to 2 times speed though, because that 110 is going to come back. Now, the player you're going to want to look for in this match, by the way, is a player named Firebird247. Conveniently, he's that Corsair that you saw a moment ago. Now, of course, he has got a Kai 45 on him. I'll let him know that's there in the chat. And he starts braking. Because that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to help him. And there we go. Kill number 4. And it's at this moment that I decided to start making my way back to base. I'm going to turn the chat on now. Now here comes a 190. Bear in mind, I am managing my own throttle, managing my own situational awareness, and also dodging said BF, well, Focke-Wulf 190. I would also like to point out this guy's level. Now normally I don't tend to, well I mean in the scumbag alerts I do, but otherwise I don't tend to include player cards. But this guy takes the cake. And I don't know what that noise is, but I would assume that's a replay bug. This guy is level 100. With about 7,000 matches played across War Thunder, give or take. And he wants me to do his English today. Situational awareness for him. I'm just going to let Harry decide this one in the comments. If I have to point it out for Harry, then, well, I mean, I wouldn't blame him because he's getting on a bit. But F2G, A4E, Tiger, ITP, Centurion, XM1, you get the point. He's tanker trash. So he gets smoked because I called him out a little too late. I take another hit, but this time it wasn't to the engine, it was to the wing, which actually saved my life here. And the 190 pilot makes the grave mistake of turn fighting. This enables me to get shots in on the 190, crit his engine, and down he goes for my ace. Now this is again where he starts in the chat, and this is where the chat is going to really take over from me. And all you're going to see is just how, well, not only childish, but also how actually crap this guy actually is. So, let's continue. I'll put it at 4 times speed, just to speed up a little bit. But now we're at the point where I say I am nursing a damaged engine and having to cover my own ass kit, which I was, because, well, yeah, it's not the world's worst damage to the engine, but it is an I-16. If you told me that he was there, I would have turned around and killed him. My plane was fine. So why wasn't you looking? I had the guy spotted. If I'm having to do your work for you, something is wrong here. And that's what I say in the chat. Your situational awareness clearly needs work if I have to do it for you. Which is true. Why should I have to do your work for you? Then he says, you were looking in this direction. Yes, I was, but you have the minimap, and you have your own situational awareness to manage. You have a C key by default, please use it. And this is going to go on for the next couple of minutes, and it's going to get to the point where, if you wonder which bomber pilot it is, by the way, it is that guy in front of us, Mr. Sicarus 1991 in his B-18B. And I perfectly put in chat, my engine has been orange and dying for the last 3 minutes, I can't do everything for you, which is true, this engine is really struggling. I mean, I'm having to fly at, what, 70%? And then here he goes saying, just type behind you. How can I do that when I have to dodge the guy, manage my own throttle, manage my own airspeed, and most importantly, manage my own situational awareness. I'm not a magician, mate. I can't do 4 things at once. And I certainly ain't doing your stuff for you. So now to skip ahead a few more minutes. And this is where Sicarus gets involved, and I had to laugh. Don't be such a little girl. No one has the time to write behind you while fighting themselves. I actually had a good chat with Sicarus, or Sicarius, I'm not sure how you say it. Pretty chill guy. Had a good chat with him for about an hour or 2, and he was pretty nice. But this is where it gets funny. He says, 1, you weren't there, and 2, you were playing a bomber. I think we know what videos he's been watching. Yeah, he's an Adam the Engineered fan. So now, we've got quite a bit to cut through. Just to point out the end. Well, towards the end. So I'll see you all in a minute. And welcome back in just a moment. It was literally about 30 seconds, but there's no point putting you through the effort of listening to that horrible replay sound. I really wish they'd fix it. So here you can see I've got 2 100kg bombs under my I-16. I chose these bombs because, well, they're 100s, and plus I trust my aim more with these than I do the rockets. And there you can see Sicarus in his B-18. Like I say, do not give him shit. He asked an honest question. So at this point, this guy here in the BF-109 is the last guy that's alive. For my team, it's me, Sicarus, and a B-18A. The team has been doing pretty okay. I mean, fair enough, I've had to kill 5, but to be fair, there was mostly squads on the enemy team, so there's not really a lot I can say about that. The 109 makes the very good decision to go for the I-16 laden with bombs. Obviously he doesn't know that, but I'd assume he will know once I bomb the tank in a few moments. But this is where I make a decision which Sicarus didn't like at first, but after I explained it to him, he appreciated it. This is where I break off and I leave Sicarus in his B-18B to handle the 109. Some might see this as selfish, some might see this as I'm abandoning a teammate. No. He's flying a B-18B. And he perfectly understands my reasoning, and I'm sure you guys will as well. He just wanted me to... Well, I was trying to win the game. We needed tickets, as you can tell. And I decided to leave him in his B-18B to handle it. Which I thought was a perfectly solid conclusion to do. And he agreed with me in the end, after a good chat or 2. So after a bit of farming, I'm going to have to make you sit through the horrible noise again, I'm sorry. And a bomb kill on a tank. I really do hate the replay sounds now. Can they just go back to normal? But anyway. This is where Sicarus is going to put in the chat about me obviously leaving him to it. And like I say, don't give him a shit, or don't give him any shit. If I just pause it to half... There we go. I just didn't want to skip the message. I just wanted to point it out. So, I believe he does crash just before the game ends. But he says, why exactly did you leave me alone? And obviously I've already explained it, but yeah, he lost his plane. I probably could have helped him, to be brutally honest. But here's the thing that not many people tend to consider. What would have happened if I'd have been shot down, and so would Sicarus? It's highly unlikely that the B-18A, on his own, would have been able to win the game. So, even though it seems like I did a bit of a dick move, which to be honest, I'm not proud of it, but end of the day, he's perfectly understanding of it. I still won us the game, and yes, it cost him his plane, but he made a profit because, well, one, he did pretty okay in the match. I mean, he got 0.4 of a ton. he got hit a load of times and you get points from that. He would have easily made a profit, even without a premium account. And, well, I focused on trying to win it for the team, not just myself. But anyway, I'm going to let you guys off. I hope you enjoyed this little one. Like I say, sorry for it being a replay. But unfortunately I wasn't recording at the time. And I will see you all on the next one.